right, we're back with Con Air Radio. My name, of course, is Jared Bernal, one of the co-hosts of Con Air Radio, and I'm actually live on the floor at Game On Expo, and I'm actually here with a very special guest, Courtney Leigh. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
So tired, but it's so worth it.
Definitely. So how's the expo been for you this weekend?
It's definitely hectic. I'm in charge of a lot more this year than I was last year, so I'm kind of seeing the organization side of a convention, which I dabbled in before, but nothing quite like this. So there's a lot going on, and I just got through my busiest day today, so I'm really happy, and tonight I can go back to sleep and get like a full 6 hours, and I'm just super excited about it.
I know how that goes. It must be tiring actually, like helping out to run, even though it's a smaller convention, just
Yeah.
a nice convention like this.
It definitely, it takes a lot of energy, but it's worth it because I'm in charge of the cosplay area of it, and cosplay has been my life for about 6 years now, and so being able to integrate myself into this portion of a convention rather than just kind of sitting on the con floor in costume is very interesting. I'm getting to know a lot of people, and I really like it, so it's worth the fatigue.
So you're into cosplay. You've been six years into it. How did you come about starting your cosplay career?
I started cosplay. I actually started my business as an art business, a fantasy art business called Courtney Leigh Creations. And somebody asked me if I'd ever done cosplay before, and I had no idea what it was. So I just kind of, for a premiere of a movie that shall not be named, in 2010, we made costumes thinking that this movie would be really good. And the movie was horrible, but the fans that went to see this movie were amazing, and we got a lot of attention with the costumes and got to know a lot of people that were into the same things, and that kind of jump-started me into cosplay. And then my sister, I was jobless at the time, long story, college degree that didn't go the way I wanted it to when I came back to Arizona, so I was jobless, I couldn't find any work, so I was depressed at the same time. My sister was like, put a costume online, see what happens. And I put it online, and next thing I knew, I think my first order was from Canada. Somebody messaged me on cosplay.com and was like, hey, can you make this costume for me? And I was like, yeah. So, I mean, I did go to college for costuming and fashion, so I technically knew how to do it, but it was my first time ever doing it for somebody else.
Wow.
And ever since then, in the 6 years that I've been doing it, it became a full-time business about 3 years ago, where I could support myself completely.
Wow, that's pretty cool that you actually got to sell costumes for other people. I like that. That's actually something that I know my fiance, she's a seamstress.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I've been trying to get her to get into as well.
Yeah, it's definitely scary because making costumes for other people, there's always the chance of making it the wrong size. And the bigger I grow, the more I get exposed to, different sides of people. There are always going to be those people that are like, this is not the wrong size, or this is not the right size, you better fix it, and they get angry, and you have to keep your cool, and you have to keep calm and find that peace, and just keep going, and it's worth being my own boss, to be honest. And I think since 2010, I'm approaching the 1,000 mark, 1,000 costumes in 6 years.
1,000 costumes?
That is off my online shop only. That doesn't include haunted attractions, which I've done costumes for 3 years at Fear Farm, and also theater design.
I love Fear Farm. I actually have a friend, Chris.
FX Chris?
Yeah, FX Chris.
Yeah,
he's actually a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
So.
he made that creepy head cast that I have under my booth today.
Nice. So you've made over almost 1,000 costumes. How many costumes for yourself personally?
For myself, oh man, probably about 50 for myself. I used to do very quick costumes. I used to do 4 costumes a month for myself. I have costume ADD where I'm like, I want to make this costume, but I also want to make this costume. So I'm just gonna do half of all these costumes, and then eventually I'll finish one. So I've made quite a few costumes for myself. I'm slowing down a little bit now that I'm older and my business is full-time. So I don't make quite as many for myself anymore, but I still do. I'm doing more elaborate things now over longer periods of time.
Nice. So out of the cosplays, either for yourself or that you made for somebody else, what's your favorite cosplay? I guess for both. What's your favorite cosplay for yourself, and your favorite cosplay that you worked on for somebody else?
For myself, I think it would have to be my Draenei from World of Warcraft. It was an original concept from the World of Warcraft, and it's what pushed me. I always worked with fabric. I went to school for fabric. I went to school for sewing. Armor was something I hadn't done before, but that was a full suit of armor. It was everything. It was pauldrons, it was horns, it was gauntlets, it was greaves, it was everything. My entire body is covered in armor. And also I was walking on hooves, which was really awesome, and I couldn't believe that I actually made them functional.
Definitely a different experience.
Yeah,
with that.
definitely. It's on my banner out there, and people always ask me how that costume is, and that costume is the worst to wear. I love it, and I love being in it for about 15 minutes at a time.
It's made to look pretty, not to be completely functional.
Yeah, I always need a handler. I always end up getting overheated or dehydrated or exhausted somehow because the costume is just head to toe foam, which doesn't breathe. And plus I'm exerting the energy to walk correctly on my stilts. But that costume opened up new doors for me. I was like, oh, I can do armor. I'm going to start doing armor now. So that, it threw me into another section of cosplay and kind of pushed my creativity to another level. So that's my favorite costume for me. For somebody else, oh man, there's so many.
It's always hard to pick.
You know what? It was an original design that I did for Fear Farm. One of my makeup, I've been the head of the makeup department at Fear Farm for about 3 years now. This is actually the first year that I won't go back. So it's been 6 years and I'm not going back to Fear Farm, which is bittersweet for me for a lot of reasons. But one of the makeup girls was also an actress in the courtyard at Fear Farm. She was a doll who had a split personality.
I remember her.
Do you? She had like half a gnarly dress. Yeah, I designed that.
She scared one of my friends.
Yeah.
We went as a group and like.
She does her creepy laugh.
Does the creepy laugh? My friend literally almost ran completely out of the park when she saw this one.
That was probably one of the best moments of her entire job there. But yeah, her dress, we designed the character together, we designed the makeup together and the dress. And that was another costume that pushed me to do things I'd never done before. The entire half of the dress that's gross and like looks like meat was latex and foam and a paint job that I had never really done before, and I was really, really happy with it. And I was like, oh, hey, I can make a dress that looks like hanging meat. And so that's probably the best thing I've done for somebody else.
Nice. So doing all this cosplay, learning all the techniques, knowing what you know now, what is your dream cosplay? The one that's been elusive to you until now?
Oh, I actually had there's a couple. One of them is, do you know Resident Evil?
I do.
Alexia from, what was it? Resident Evil, Code Veronica, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She has this crazy, I don't even know if it's prosthetics or if I could do it with prosthetics or if I could do it with a bodysuit, but I've been wanting to do that for about 3 years now. And I had no idea how to do it. I was just like, I want to be a half-plant mutant evil thing. But I mean, now knowing what I know now, thinking about it, I could actually go back and do that. Which, I didn't even think about that until you asked me that question. So
that's what I try. I like to aspire.
So yeah, I've been wanting to do that one for a long time and actually try and pull it off.
Nice. So we can see that sometime in the future.
Hopefully, yeah.
So, what's the best piece of advice you can give somebody who's just getting into cosplay? They really don't know where they're headed into. What would you say to that person?
Well, cosplay has changed immensely in even just the 6 years that I've been doing it. Cosplay started out as a fun hobby for people, and now it's kind of turned into where a lot of people are actually trying to make a living off of it. So it's actually a little bit competitive, which I think scares a lot of people off nowadays if you're just getting into it. But the advice I have for somebody just getting into it is ignore all of that. If you're trying to have fun, just have fun. Even if it's closet cosplay, even if you pull a few shirts and a jacket out of your closet to cosplay somebody from a TV show, do it. And when somebody recognizes you and is fangirling or fanboying all over it, then that is the moment that you take home.
Yeah, my first cosplay that I ever did for Phoenix Comic Con was actually Silent Bob. And I actually had a trench coat, threw a hat on backwards, and I walked, actually it was right here at the Mesa Convention Center, and I got stopped by hundreds of people, you know, just like, Silent Bob, you know, getting pictures. And it was one of those things I wasn't really thinking about,
Yeah.
you know, doing the cosplay, but it was just like, I have this, why not?
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, cosplay, again, there are some cutthroat sections. Like, there are groups of people who are very cutthroat about it. They're very competitive. But the number one thing to remember is that cosplay is for you. It's not for you. You shouldn't be doing it for somebody else or to gain somebody else's approval. Cosplay should make you feel good. It should make you connect with people, new friends, I mean, you can challenge yourself making costumes, but always bring something with you that is for you and not for other people.
I like that. So, do you have any upcoming projects? You know, where can we find you online and all that fun stuff? This is your plug moment.
So I am making something. I'm doing the costumes from the Assassin's Creed movie. I don't know if you've actually like looked at them, but I'm like stressed out of my mind, but also really excited because almost head to toe it's hand beaded.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm making the beads because I couldn't find the beads, so I'm making a lot of the beads. So that's probably my biggest project right now. That'll hopefully be done in November. And you can see progress pictures from that on CourtneyLeighCreations.com, Courtney Leigh Creations on Facebook, Instagram. I'm kind of all over the place.
Nice. I love Assassin's Creed. I'm actually looking forward to that. Actually, I have a tattoo on my arm.
Yeah, my boyfriend has the Assassin's Creed logo on his underarm area with the whole like Italian thing that he memorized it. I didn't memorize it, but
like the runes and all that around it.
And I think he has Ezio's face like portrait in the assassin. Yeah, he's got all kinds of crazy tattoos.
That's pretty extreme. I just have the assassin symbol on my arm.
I have a dragon on my hip that I got way before Skyrim, but everyone thinks it's Skyrim. It looks like the Skyrim dragon, but I came up with it first. And then I have Ada Wong's butterfly from Resident Evil 4 on my shoulder.
That's pretty cool.
I'm a subtle nerd, so you know you have to be a real fan of like Resident Evil to know it's Ada Wong's butterfly.
that is pretty extreme, but you know, everybody has that one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you again for giving us the time and letting us interview you here, you know, for Con Air Radio.
Thank you.
And hopefully, you know, we'll see you again sometime down the line. We'll catch up with you again.
I think what's my next con? Tucson maybe.
Tucson Comic Con.
Keen Halloween. I think I'm going to Keen Halloween. It's the first time in 6 years I've been available for Halloween. I've been at Fear Farm for 6 years.
Well, we definitely want to get down to Keen Halloween too. So I think I'm gonna wear my Snorlax Kigu for that one too.
Yeah, I have 5 Nights at Freddy's, so we'll be Kigu buddies.
We'll totally have to hook up, get a couple of shots down there.
Yeah.
So
open hallways, be creepy about it.
I was gonna lay down in front of a couple doorways, but everybody's like, no, you shouldn't do that. You know, it's a fire code hazard.
Oh, whatever. Just leap over you. It's fine.
All right. Well, once again, thank you, and we'll see you again. And again from Con Air Radio, this is Jared Bernal, and we'll catch you again next time.